Lake Louise and Moraine Lake are two of the biggest reasons why we, and so many others, decided to visit Canada.
Together, they attract over 4 million visitors per year.
And it's easy to see why. You often hear people say to skip the tourist spots and go off the beaten path, but sometimes the popular places are popular for a reason. These lakes are absolutely breathtaking, and no hidden gem can replace the feeling of seeing them in person. In this video, we'll show you why they live up to the hype and how to make the most of your visit, even with the crowds.
Visiting Lake Louise and Moraine Lake takes some real planning. The parking lot at Lake Louise fills up as early as 2 or 3 a.m. And for Moraine Lake, you can't even drive there anymore. The road is closed to personal vehicles. The easiest and most reliable option is the Parks Canada shuttle. It's efficient and pretty affordable at just $9.75 per person. It lets you take one visit and then transfer it to the other lake or head back to your car.
The tricky part is getting tickets. Most of them are released in early spring, and they sell out almost immediately. But if you miss that window, like we did, don't worry. More tickets become available at 8 a.m. Banff time, 2 days before your visit. That's how we got ours. The morning our tickets dropped, we logged on right at 8 a.m. and we got nothing. They had sold out immediately. Alex kept refreshing the site and eventually saw some tickets pop up for Moraine Lake. They weren't for our ideal time, but we grabbed them. We planned to visit each lake on separate days so we'd have time to hike, so we tried again the next morning and managed to get Lake Louise tickets at the perfect time.
You can visit both lakes in one day or take your time like we did and spread it out over multiple days. There are long hikes, short trails, kayaking, and plenty of other activities at each of them. So it depends whether you want to spend your full day there or just a few hours at each lake, but there are plenty of options.
We got up around 4:45 and got ready. It was another day of having oatmeal for breakfast. Then we drove 45 minutes from our hotel to the shuttle parking lot. The parking lot was almost empty this early in the morning, so it was super easy to park.
Alright, so we came to the Lake Louise shuttle. We got here at about 6:30, a little bit before 6:30. We have a 6:30 to 7 slot, and then it's going to shuttle us over to Lake Louise. You can't get parking there. They fill up at like 3 a.m. at the actual lake, so this is the easiest way to do it, and it's pretty cheap. It was only $18 for 2 of us to do this for a round trip, and so we will take you along with the trip for us today and hopefully see some cool things at Lake Louise.
We only waited about 15 minutes in a short line before the shuttle took off. The ticketing area and the bus lines were easy to navigate, and the whole process was smooth. The shuttle dropped us off in the parking lot, and from there, we just followed the signs straight to the lake.
Okay, so we took the shuttle on a short drive. It was about 5 minutes to the lake. So now we're here at Lake Louise. It wasn't a long walk from the parking area to the actual lake, and it's really beautiful. It's very cold and rainy out today, but it was still worth it to see this.
The lake is absolutely beautiful. It looks like you stepped foot into a postcard. It's unreal in all the best ways. At this time of the morning, it wasn't very crowded. We stopped to get some pics of ourselves in front of the lake, and then we set off for our hike, wanting to beat the crowds.
The way up to the tea house was a 2.2-mile trail, mostly surrounded by large pines. As we walked, there would be gaps in the trees with incredible views of the lake below, giving us plenty of awesome spots to take a quick break for a snack. The first stop along the way was about an hour in. It was Mirror Lake. The lake was very peaceful and it had views of the mountain we were about to hike right behind it. Alright, so we're in the middle of the big Beehive trail. First stop is Lake Agnes, then the tea house, and you go like 2 kilometers further up to the top. So the trails have looked like this pretty much the entire time. There's been 4 or 5 viewpoints already that we got some good videos of, but it's just like this the entire time. It's beautiful scenery.
Just before reaching the tea house, we came across a waterfall, a perfect sign that snacks were near. We climbed a short staircase and we were greeted with a breathtaking scene. It felt like an oasis after the hike. The weather had cleared up and it was stunning in every direction you looked. In our opinion, this lake is totally underrated.
So we just got some goodies from the tea house, Canadian maple tea, a peanut butter nut bar, and then a chocolate chip cookie bar.
Very cool.
And it was about $23 Canadian.
With tip.
We got here about 8:30, and when we got here, there wasn't much of a line. We got takeout anyways because it was still quite a wait. But now it's been probably like 10 minutes since we got here, and the line is
Look at
crazy.
that. But we got this beautiful view too. We're eating our snacks. We wrapped up our snacks, snapped a few more photos in front of the lake, and then hit the trail again. From there, it was about another mile to the big Beehive at the top, but the views of Agnes Lake along the way were stunning. The trail winds around the lake and climbs higher up onto the mountain, and this part was hands down my favorite section of the entire hike.
So we just left the Lake Agnes tea house, and the trail split into the little Beehive and the big Beehive. So we ended up taking the big Beehive, and we're really happy we did because we're only like 2 minutes into our walk and the view looks so beautiful.
Once we got to the other side of the lake, we started climbing again, and this is where we had to put the cameras away because I was absolutely freaking out about how high up we were. The trail had these wild openings in the trees where you could see straight down and realize just how far you'd come. It was a little nerve-wracking, but also super cool.
It was scary because you have to scramble up the rocks at the end, and I don't like that.
So if you're scared of heights, big Beehive might be a little bit nerve-wracking for you. You might want to try the little Beehive, but we'll show you. It's going to be worth it. This is so cool up here.
Not long after that, we'd made it to the lookout. You could see Lake Louise way below us, and the water literally looked like someone had colored it in with a turquoise marker. Easily the craziest looking natural water we'd ever seen, and there were so many good spots to sit and take it all in.
So we just left the big Beehive lookout, and now we're walking down a different trail that we saw. It didn't have a name, it just said it was towards Lake Louise. So it was right across from where you would have split off and taken the big Beehive trail back. So, but it's very beautiful, and we're hoping that there's no more scrambles since it made me a little nervous.
So since the way up was a little bit treacherous and steep, we're going down a different path on the way back. So hopefully, well, one, we get different scenery, and two, hopefully that it's much easier to travel over the terrain. We were glad we ended up taking this trail back. At first, it felt just like a regular trail, but then the tree line opened up a bit and gave us some scenic views of the lake below, and it had a nice railing which gave Olivia some peace of mind. We passed Mirror Lake again and eventually made our way down the same trail that we took up. We were pretty tired, so even though it was still early and we could have squeezed in Moraine Lake, we decided to save it for the next day and get some rest.
Okay, so we just got back in the car. We took the shuttle to the area where the shuttle has their parking, and it just started to rain, of course. So we're hoping that maybe it will clear up so we can go downtown. We looked at our fitness tracker, and it says that we hiked about 8 miles today, so not bad. What, 8.5? Alex is pointing up. Maybe walked 8.5 today.
So one of our biggest tips in Banff, if you're going to Moraine Lake or Lake Louise, is to get there early. We did the 6:30 shuttle, like you guys know. We had the whole trail to ourselves on our way up. We could stop and take our time, take all these videos. When we were coming down to come back to the parking lot, we passed hundreds of people. So if you're not scared of waking up early, it will make your experience so much better in the long run to get here early.
We headed back to the hotel and got ready to hit the downtown for happy hour. We ended up taking the Rome bus, and then we walked to the Park Distillery Restaurant and Bar to check out their happy hour deals, and they did not disappoint. We got 2 burgers, the truffle fries, the cornbread appetizer, and a hard root beer, and a glass of wine, all for $60.65 USD. After dinner, we were craving something sweet, so we wandered around town on the hunt for dessert.
Alright, we went to the Banff sweet shop. We had to get something after dinner. You know, we got Rice Krispies, dark chocolate, and white chocolate. Very cool. These are only like $6 US for 4 of them. Not bad. After such a long day, we were absolutely beat, so we headed back to the hotel and crashed around 8 p.m. If you have more energy, you could definitely spend a few more hours exploring downtown and trying out different restaurants and bars and seeing all there is to do. The next morning, it was pouring, and there is a special weather warning for flooding, but we decided to make the most of things in downtown Banff. It was totally manageable in our raincoats. We kept ducking in and out of the many shops. Our shuttle to Moraine Lake wasn't until noon, so we had some time to kill. After shopping, we drove 45 minutes to the shared shuttle lot for both Lake Louise and Moraine Lake.
So this morning was a slow morning. It was raining a lot, so me and Alex just kind of took it easy. We went and got breakfast at this place called Toulouse's. I got chocolate pancakes, and Alex got a Belgian waffle. We also got a side of home fries, and they had a Creole seasoning on them. And then we also got a side of bacon. It was really, really good, and it wasn't super expensive for the area. It was kind of more expensive for breakfast, but for the area, it was kind of on par with what everything else is. And then afterwards, we went around and we did some shopping on the Banff main street and all the little streets off of there. And we got some things. So we got a Banff postcard.
Very cool.
We've decided we're gonna start collecting a postcard for every city or national park, like anything like that we go to. And then we also got coaster for drinks, but we have some Colombia coasters, so we've decided that we're going to start getting a coaster for every country we go to. So we got a Canada coaster this time. Yep, Alex got a hat. It's really cute. I like it a lot.
Needed a new one.
And it wasn't bad prices. I think for all of the postcard and the coaster, it was like $7, so not too bad. And then for this, I think you paid what? $30?
I paid 38 Canadian, so maybe like $28.
Yeah, so it wasn't horrible, especially for something that's like at a gift shop. You expect to pay a little more for something like that. So Alex got a mug.
You know, for the coffee in the morning, thought that was really cool. You know, enjoy it. Remember how peaceful and awesome this place is while I'm drinking my coffee. So that was very cool. I think that was like 15 Canadian, so like $10 maybe, $11. Not bad.
So we got pretty lucky and the rain has started to clear up. So we're gonna go to Moraine Lake and look at it. We're not sure what we're gonna do after Moraine Lake, but you'll follow along and see. The drive to Moraine Lake was surprisingly long. The shuttle winds its way up the mountain for quite a while before you finally reach the parking lot. Once you're there, you'll find a bunch of different trail options. Some are super long and could take up your whole day, while others are much shorter. The first trail we chose was the Moraine Lake Shoreline Trail, which is an easy, flat, 2.3 mile out and back hike. It offered some of the most incredible views though we've ever seen. The path runs right along the edge of the lake with lots of gaps in the trees where you can see the bright water with a mountain backdrop. It really felt like we were walking through a painting. You can also rent kayaks at Moraine Lake, which looked like an incredible experience. But just a heads up, it's extremely expensive, around 160 CAD for just 1 hour, and there were signs saying the water extremely cold, even in the summer. We took our time on the trail, snapped a ton of photos, and by the end, we had definitely worked up an appetite. Thankfully, right by the parking lot, there was a restaurant and a small shop to grab lunch. We chose the budget option, the small shop, and each got a cup of noodles and some muffins. They had hot water so you could cook the noodles yourself. It was such a cozy and unexpected treat after the hike. We quickly finished our food, then made our way to the Rock Pile Trail. This was an even easier walk up some rocks, and it was only about a half a mile round trip. It was super crowded at the time that we went, but it was worth it. The views of Moraine Lake were incredible from here, and this is definitely the best spot to take some amazing photos. After exploring the area, we headed back down the original path. On our way back down the Rock Pile Trail, we spotted a path to Constellation Lakes. It was only about 3 miles, and I really wanted to check it out. But we didn't bring bear spray, and we hadn't seen anyone else on the trail, and there was a bear warning sign, so I got a little nervous. I looked it up afterwards, and I'm still regretting not going. Has anyone done this hike? Did we seriously miss out? Let us know. The ride back to the shuttle was smooth, and before we knew it, we were back at our hotel. Our bodies were definitely sore from the day, so we took some time to relax in the hotel's hot tub. It had an incredible view of the mountains and felt amazing on our sore muscles. Afterwards, we showered and took the Rome bus downtown to grab some dinner. This time we were a bit late for happy hour deals, and we were craving a proper sit-down meal, so we went with one of the more affordable options, the Boss Kitchen and Bar. We ordered the Banff burger and a regular burger. It was my first time trying bison, and I loved it, especially paired with the berry chutney on top. After some more exploring and hitting another bar for drinks, we headed back to our hotel. I bet you thought the day ended there. Nope, we decided to try and catch the sunset. Some hotel employees had recommendations and they told us there was a spot just up the road. So around 9:30 p.m. we set off on foot to check it out. Alright, so to finish the night off, we came to the Tunnel Mountain Reservoir to watch the sunset. We got about 25 minutes until the sunset happens, but look at this pan. Let me know where else you'd want to be during a sunset. This is awesome.
So it's getting very late and it's already really dark. It's 9:48 and the sunset was supposed to be at 10:01. So I started wondering like what's going on? Why is there's no colors in the sky? Well, we looked it up and it says that we're supposed to be there at an hour before the sunset time to be able to see the vibrant colors. So we totally missed it.
Oops.
Unfortunately, we didn't end up catching the sunset in Banff, but if you want to catch it while you're there, make sure that you go an hour before the sunset time. For days 3 and 4, we spent $325.74 on food, activities, and souvenirs. It was really expensive for us, but Banff is well known for being pricey, so in context, it wasn't really that bad for the area. That wraps up our adventure to Lake Louise and Moraine Lake, 2 destinations that absolutely live it up to the hype. Whether you're hiking, relaxing, snapping photos, or simply soaking it all in, nothing beats standing before these lakes in person. We hope this video helps you plan your own visit and makes the most of every sunrise, crowd, and trail. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so that you don't miss a single video. Leave us a comment below if you've done the Constellation Lake hike. We're still curious what we missed. Thanks so much for watching, and make sure you join us for day 4 of our Canada trip.